Hey guys, Joel over here at ImportSauce.com. Today we are going to be talking about another Elevate Cars product. This is going to be the rear heavy-duty sway bar for XC60. I know we do a lot of talking about the 40. We actually just put the same bar, not this same bar, but the one that Elevate Cars makes for the S40 on, and we figured this would be a great time to talk about the one that we also got for the XC60. So stick around, we're going to talk about it, talk about the fittings, talk about the bushings, all that good stuff, and give you a better idea of what this thing's all about. Okay, so as mentioned, we just completed the install of this same bar on the S40. And we figured, well, let's freshen our mind in the install before we went to another one. We might as well talk about this. So this is for the XC60 SUV. It's for model years 2010 up to, I think it's gonna be 2016 or 2017 on there. This is heavy duty, and as with the S40 and probably all of the other ones that they make, this rear sway for the XC60 is quite a bit larger in diameter than factory. So this one is also coming in at 25.4 millimeters, which is about an inch right there. This thing is way bigger, girthier, solid, heavier than the factory bar that you're gonna get. As we saw on the install here as well on the 40, the bushings that you get, the brackets, these things are solid. The ones that we pulled off of this, rusted out, thin, flimsy. The bushings and the brackets that you get from Elevate, top quality. First of all, the bracket, it has the Zerk fitting, so later on you can go in and you can re-grease it should you need to make sure that with the waterproof grease that Elevate supplies you, or any other grease that you use in the future, that the bushing is staying lubed the way it should. It's not squeaking, it's keeping that moisture and those other things out that tear down the bushing. The bushings that they give, polyurethane as well, so you know that you have a really solid combination here. It's going to hold the bar, and it's going to keep that bar mounted up to the vehicle. Also, what we noticed about the brackets here, besides the factory ones, these things are about twice as thick. So the ones we pulled off here, flimsy, thin, it just looked like some some brackets to hold some wire conduit around your house. These things are solid. So essentially, the install is pretty simple. It did come with detailed installation instructions, and it walks you through, but to recap it, there's really only going to be 6 total bolts, nuts that you're taking off, 4 bolts that are come with the bracket, and then you're going to have 2 nuts that are going to come off of where the end links go. So first thing you want to do is you'll get underneath, and what we did was we went ahead and took off our end links first. On the XC60, the end links are going to be a 15 millimeter, and there's also going to be an Allen key that you want to use to stabilize and hold it. So an open-ended wrench, and then the Allen key is going to hold it from spinning. You're going to break those off, and you're going to do that on both sides, and then those you should be able to kind of maneuver and finagle out. From there, you're going to want to go to the factory brackets, which are going to be about here. Those are your 13s. It's going to be pretty wide open, so on this one we used air and just zoop them right out. Okay, and with your factory assembly out, you're going to want to prep the new Elevate bar before it goes in. What we did and what you're going to want to do, they supply you some waterproof grease for your poly bushing. So they give you one, and you're going to need this too for both bushings. So only use about half. We went ahead and we got it in there. We worked it in. We got it all nice and lubed. And then you're simply going to open this thing up, pop it on, and you want it to butt right up against the placeholder, as we'll call it there, for the bracket. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side. Lube it, pop it on. What we did then is the bar is ready to go. You want to pay attention to the orientation of the old bar. It was easy because with the 40 and for the XC60 as well, the bracket was pretty much stationary on the factory bar. So if you see that your bracket is facing up, you're going to hop in there and you're going to make sure that the way that the bar shapes is going in the same way. If you try to put it in upside down or backwards, it may look like it's just a little bit off and you may be, messing around trying to force it to fit, when in all actuality, you just have it on backwards. So when you pull the factory one off, pay attention to the orientation and the dips to make sure that you're going to be in the right place there. So once both of those are on, what we did is we just tightened up the brackets first. So we put our 13s, and for you, 13 on the XC60. Put those, get a couple threads, get it secure so that thing's not going to fall down on your head. And then from that point, you can put your end links back in. The kit does come with some washers and some spacers, and the installation instructions do note that there are different versions depending on your model of the different end links that are going to connect on there. Some of them have a built-in like bushing washer, and so you're going to use that included hardware should you need to. Go ahead and put those back on. It is going to be the 15 millimeters as well. And then once everything's on there, we just went back through, circled through. The torque spec is included right on the instructions as well. The instructions on there did say that it could take, for somebody unfamiliar with vehicles or just starting off, maybe an hour and a half. We found on this one, it took us maybe 15 minutes tops. Even if we weren't using air tools, I wouldn't imagine that would go more than 20 minutes all in. We are using some good jacks. We did use the Daytona 3-ton. Check out our review on that. And our race ramp, so we didn't have to mess around with jack stands. We pumped this car up this high essentially in about 4 pumps. We put our race ramps in. We're good to go. So same thing, if you guys are looking, you have an XC60, you're looking to do something to help it out. If you got that, your SUV, you're already going to be maybe off-road a little bit. You're going to be hauling the kids around. You're going to be doing those things. And this is a great optimization for the vehicle to put on it. The price point is right. The installation you can do at home if you have a couple of wrenches. And just the overall just feel of the vehicle is very different. So on this one, man, could you tell a difference? So we're excited that we're going to get this one on as well, and then we'll report back on that. But I'm guessing, as with Elevate and everything else they sell, that we're not going to be disappointed. It's going to be exactly what we wanted, and exactly what we were looking to have in terms of performance, the price point, and just the sheer quality of the product. Thanks for watching. ElevateCars.com is where you can get this XC60 bar, and then @ImportSauce on all our socials. Thanks.